Some movies get less trailers than the typical, others sometimes get more. I mean, this is not to the level of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom yet, because that one had like 8 international trailers, and I don't think there's enough time to put, or need to put that many out in the next coming days. But in terms of mainstream trailers, 5 is a lot. But in the case of The King's Man, for no fault of its own, just the circumstances at present, this film has had to, do the extra work of reminding people, yes, there is a Kingsman prequel, and yes, it exists, and it's still coming. I mean, I kind of feel bad for it, because again, from what I've seen in the trailers, and I love the first 2 Kingsman movies, this one looks great, too. I mean, it looks great as a prequel project. It's very much in service of the original 2, I feel, and the finesse to it is amazing. I love the cast. But again, it's caught in a bad season, unfortunately, just with all the delays and stuff. And on top of that, I forgot about this, but this is coming out in the middle of December. And Spider-Man No Way Home, gratefully, is becoming quite the box office behemoth that pretty much nothing can compete. And there's many movies that have looked good, including The King's Man. And this one's coming out while that other movie is in session. Well, let's see. I mean, some people might be like, well, at least the majority of people that went to go see Spider-Man No Way Home, from what I'm hearing, there's still a lot of people that are going to still go to it. I mean, I still haven't seen it, but I know that, box office is really shining right now. Good on Sony for that one. It's quite a surprise. But, well, not really because it's a Spider-Man movie, but at least at the rate it's going, I mean, it's pretty massive. But maybe some interest will wane off after a while and the numbers will start to dwindle down a bit. But it's still, a big movie. And you got The Matrix coming out. I mean, poor King's Man. It's got. I feel so horrible for it. But, I mean, again, well, it looks like a good film. I'm sure people will watch it eventually. I'm excited to. I'm looking forward to it. It just couldn't have come out, I guess, at a worse time. So even when they're like, you had the short end of the stick in the fact that we got delayed, you also get the short end of the stick in terms of the competition. But let's go ahead and take a look at the final trailer. Again, 5 trailers is a lot, but they've really had to remind people that this movie's coming. And again, it's looked great. By the way, I did forget to mention, as I was editing the last couple videos, and I love the films. They're very European, but they're so much fun to watch. They're very entertaining. I actually went and rewatched them in preparation of covering the trailers initially, because I had seen it a while ago. But I did want to remind myself in terms of the general feeling I had with the movie to get that impression again. And they were still really good on a second watch. But the finesse to the movie. I can't wait to see the Rasputin dance sequence. That looks excellent from the last trailer, the Red Band one. But let's go ahead and take a look at the final trailer. We're going to watch this first, and we'll talk about it more in my condensed review segment while I was watching the video today. Granted, in comparison to the other trailers, this one's not as long, and only about an hour and 3 seconds shy of 40 seconds. Or not hour, a minute. Okay, that'd be a long trailer. Like, why would you need the movie then? Okay, without further ado, here we go. Let's take a look. Oh, hang on a second. Okay.
Kingsman, world's finest tailor.
I mean, this film is also a 20th century pictures movie, and Disney hasn't been marketing these out very well. I mean, aside from 5 trailers.
This will not be a war of heroes.
Meet history's most evil legends. The assassin, Gavrilo Princip. Weakness, throwing arm. Strength.
The style of this film, I appreciate it so much.
The super spy, Mata Hari. Strength. Screen presence. Weakness.
So elegant.
Scars.
Did you forget your manners?
Guilty as charged.
And the crazed monk, Rasputin. Strengths. And weaknesses. You'll have to see it for yourself.
It's good, no? Yes, very.
On December 22nd,
Our enemies think we are gentlemen.
It's got the beautiful camera work of the original first 2. It's a very crafty weapon. I wonder if people that brought that into real life, or if it's an invention of the film. I suspect someone might now. I'd be like, gun sword. This looks great.
Boys are always so messy.
Well, if you saw the Red Band trailer, you know that one guy does not have a good end. But because this is the final trailer, we're not going to, and it's not got the Red Band designation, we have to be very tame in our presentation. See, I love the first 2 movies, and like I said, not only are they very good films, but they're kind of unusual too, in the fact that they definitely deal with more complex narratives, and that is to be appreciated. I've liked Matthew Vaughn for quite a long time, going back to X-Men First Class. It's one of my favorite X-Men films, actually. I love the style of it, and that's definitely not Kingsman. This is very much its original thing. Well, based on a comic, as I understand, that I haven't gotten a chance to read yet. I would be willing to, and open to doing that. But I have to say, with these films, I've really appreciated, again, the originality of not just in the film style, but the narrative complexity and the realism in it. And it's interesting, again, as like a Hollywood release, it is unusual to see a narrative that doesn't necessarily conform, if you know what I mean. If you watch the first one especially, and you consider, outside factors, that's a consideration that sometimes, or maybe you may not be looking for. Some of us, if you're in my position, you might be kind of surprised by that. But I'm excited to see where this goes in terms maybe of an overall narrative. But I am interested. I would love to see another Kingsman movie again, though, because, Colin Firth isn't in here, and I love him in the first two. And he is, he's missed, as well as Taron Egerton. I like them both. I wish they kept, what's his name? Merlin. He'll be missed, I'm sure, in the third one. I think they're making a third one, right? Other one is in production. I don't know. But we have a prequel movie. So at least setting up the Kingsman story that we've come to enjoy over the past two movies. And I'm looking forward to watching this one. We'll see. I mean, it's a higher villain count, it seems. But, they have a couple films that had accomplices. But I'm sure it'll be enjoyable. It's as long as it can garner the audience. And people have to remember that Kingsman exists, right? Or the Kingsman, I should specify. I mean, Spider-Man No Way Home and The Matrix, we'll see how The Matrix does. I've heard iffy reception on that. But those are pretty big movies, right? And there's a couple other ones that have been thrown into the mix. Nightmare Alley being one. I don't think West Side Story is going to do very well, so I don't think this one has any worry in terms of that. But the Kingsman is coming out at, I think, a really... I'm sure it would have preferred a more preferable time. What are your guys' thoughts about the Kingsman from a final trailer perspective? Let me know down below. It really has been a long marketing run with this movie, but I've enjoyed it. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it, whether that be in theaters or on DVD eventually. We'll see. Or maybe streaming. I have no idea. Don't forget all the good stuff with like, subscribing, the sharing, and that bell until we get to watch more, perhaps from Matthew Vaughn, or maybe that new Kingsman entry whenever that comes out. I hope it does, if it isn't already being planned or developed, or whatever you get to watch next for the first time on this channel. I will see you then. Until that point, thanks for watching this video. I love you guys. Don't love yourselves, your fellow man. God bless, and peace.